والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد سيد الأولين والآخرين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما وألحقنا بعبادك الصالحين. صل اللهم وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Unfortunately, I am losing my voice, so bear with me, but I will start with an ayah of the Quran, like Hafiz Zafar asked me to. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alam naj'al lahu 'aynayn wa lisanan wa shafatayn. The ayah is among the Quran Kareem. I always try to mention to the point that the Quran Kareem oftentimes speak to us in very simple terms, yet they're very meaningful. Yeah, he gives us simple things, but then upon reflection it turns out that they're very deep. Yani examples, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, أَفَمَنْ يَخْلُقْ كَمَنْ لَا يَخْلُقْ. Is he who creates similar to he who doesn't create? Maybe the ayah says, everybody says, oh yeah, the ayah is simple. Sure it is, but you can write books about the science of Tawheed through this ayah. Books and encyclopedias where the difference between the creation, difference between the creator, Sifatul Khaliq, Sifatul Makhluq, all these things, what is permissible to Al-Khaliq subhanahu wa ta'ala, what's permissible to the Makhluq, what's not permissible to say about the Khaliq, what's not permissible to say about Makhluq. So many things. Okay? But therefore, Al-Quran Al-Kareem sometimes gives us these things to contemplate. لأن القرآن wants you to move your mind, not only to move your body. The Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The Quran says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, قُلْ سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. The ayah is known to all of you. سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. Okay. But سِيرُوا فِي الْأَرْضِ. And do what? Walk on earth. And do what? ثُمَّ انظُرُوا. So the sayr is basically walking with your feet and going. But nazar requires, unzuru means i'lamu, contemplate. Yani another, the vision, when the Quran sometimes uses vision to see, is actually metaphor for knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, alam tara kayfa fa'ala rabbuka bi ashab al-fil. Haven't you seen? But you all know that the Prophet ﷺ was born the year of the elephant. In fact, after the people of the elephant came. So it means that haven't you seen, but haven't you received, haven't we taught you what happened to the people of the elephant? Haven't you received the knowledge? Haven't we given you all that knowledge? No. So here Allah says, ثُمَّ انظُرُوا كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ الَّذِينَ, etc. You all know the ayahs. So walk on earth, then make nazar, unzuru. You learn. Move your body and move your mind. That's the whole point of the Quran. And that's why you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ. Don't they contemplate? Don't they comprehend? أَفَلَا يَتَذَكَّرُونَ. Aren't they reminded? أَفَلَا يَنظُرُونَ إِلَى الْأَرْضِ. Don't they see how earth is? And then before that, al-sama, heavens. All these things for tadabbur and tafakkur and tadhakkur is to move the mind. For Al-Quran Kareem wants us to move our mind, to work with Al-Quran. Now, Al-Quran is two things. It has a theoretical side and a practical side. The theoretical side you see when Allah says in Al-Quran Kareem, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Allah orders with the adl, just, wal ihsan, and you are muhsan, decent and do good, wa ita'i dhil qurba, and you are nice to those or kind to those of kin. Like, how do you translate this? You translate it when you see An-Nabi Al-A'zam sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam justice. When you see Sayyidina Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu saying that if a donkey in Iraq slips in a hole in the road, then Allah will ask me, why haven't you repaired that road for that donkey, Ya Umar? The sense of responsibility. When you hear that Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu is talking about the sense of responsibility for a mule who is not in Medina, who is in Iraq. Because it shows you now the practical Al-Quran Al-Kareem, you have to move it to a practice, not only just like go through like this. And you see now the hadith that embodies the hadith, the Sahih of course, that the Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he says, Al-mu'minu lil-mu'min kal-bunyan al-marsus. The mu'min to the mu'min is like bricks next to each other. But ajib that Sayyidina Faruq radiallahu anhu does not even stop with the human beings, he even talks about the rights of the animals. And not only the rights of the animals, justice for animals. Justice, among the justice for animals, not that you give them only food and drink, but you also make sure that the road they walk on is paved. يعني taken care of. هي رحمة الإسلام وعظمة الإسلام. ألم نجعل سيدي حامد ظفر wants me to talk about the tongues, inshallah, so we'll go from there to the tongue. But before I go to the tongue, Al-Quran Al-Kareem wants us to understand the power of the word. Your deeds have power, and your words have power as well. Nowadays, you all know, those of you who are physicists, in the science of physics now they're proving that the words, because the words, what is words? Basically language. Language is what? Medium of communication. These words is a sound, and the sound is carried to you. You hear my sound because of the sound waves. And those sound waves, physicists are saying now that they remain in the atmosphere. They can even be picked up. Ajib. Subhanallah. So now the sound waves are there. That's how you hear. That's why if you are under the water and you try to speak, what happens? There's no sound waves. There are water waves. Water waves do not carry the sound. Like in the air carries the sound. So if you try to speak under the water, that won't work. They won't hear you. But if you speak with the atmosphere Allah created for this here, that works. The words remain even afterwards. After you speak them, they remain in the atmosphere. Now they are trying to figure out how we can identify them. For every sound has a print, just like you have thumbprints. وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. Allah challenges us from Quran Kareem. And often people, and it's a provocative challenge in a sense, go and acquire knowledge. Open. انفذوا لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. Please acquire the knowledge, but remember that no matter how much you know, there is someone who is more knowledgeable than you. And go and push the borders of السماوات والأرض. But even when you push the borders, يعني in knowledge even, لا تنفذون إلا بسلطان. You will only go with the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you will discover so many things. Yani I'm just trying to say that you all know that a human being was able to fly thousands of years ago. People always say they discovered the plane and flying. No, they didn't discover it. I mean, they invented, they say. But they didn't invent, they discovered. The law has always been there. The laws of physics to fly have always been there. Like, and they didn't invent things. They simply discovered the law Allah always already created. And there are many laws Allah created that we are still ignorant of. You don't know. Maybe the human beings can even fly by itself, no engine. You don't know. How did they build the pyramids at that time? Now they contemplate how many things do we have to do. Like there are many sciences out there. حتى يعني the karamat of the awliya, they say also these are laws. قال الذي عنده علم من الكتاب. في القرآن الكريم سيدنا سليمان